What's up, guys? Momo-Dog here. I got like 10, maybe even more comments in the span of like 10 minutes after the patch notes dropped, asking me about either my reaction to the patch notes or just telling me that Devil Jin is cooked or. And don't be surprised, I'm just commentating over some old footage of me. But let's get right into it. So, first off, let's talk about the obvious issue at hand. Devil Jin's Psycho Crusher, as a lot of people call it, was pretty essential to make things easier for him, and especially short sets. Now that they nerfed that, his consistency, especially in the shorter sets, will suffer a bit. And that's probably a fact. Like that Heatsmash alone kind of was just good for his ease of use. Like the character is not easy to use at all in tournaments, but that Heatsmash made things a bit easier on the character in general. So now that the tracking is gone, you do not have an easy 53 damage button to throw out from any range that will track them anymore or to lock them down. Let's look at things from a bigger picture though. Heatsmash tracking getting nerfed means you will get to play a more interactive game with your opponent while you're in heat. One of the things that bothered me the most was when people just straight up started holding back and, the only task you have is going in and mix them up, which to me was pretty uninteractive gameplay. I think it's better that people have a reason to sidestep against Devil Jin heat now. Let me put it this way. I prefer this over whatever that was before. I'm currently working on how I would rework Devil Jin in general for this game video, and one of the things I brought up is that I would just straight up change his Heatsmash entirely. Now that the Heatsmash doesn't track anymore, obviously it's not going to be as strong. But what this opens up is you're going to play much different mind games in Heat now. Especially, we don't know exactly what kind of tracking it will have. Maybe you're forced to hard sidewalk against it. Maybe step blocks alone won't be able to beat it. And if you have to hard sidewalk against it, that would indirectly make moves like up 4-2 or CD 1+2, 1+2 in Heat much stronger. Because, as I said before, you get to play a much more interactive game plan out now. So, if they try to sidestep your Heatsmash, you're not really forced to go in and mix anymore as it was before when they just started holding back against you. Instead, you can start trying to counterplay their movement or, when they're conditioned, you can still just go in and mix. However, I think it's a good thing they're forced to sidestep against the Heatsmash now. I'm pretty sure people are still just going to opt to blocking simply because you can very easily realign with Heatsmashes in this game. Like, for example, Dragunov's Heatsmash may be sidesteppable, but what I see Dragunov players do instead is they will dash with your movement and then they will Heatsmash instead to, make it basically impossible to step his Heatsmash. You can still do the same with Devil Jin, and his Heatsmash is still a real mid, so you can still use it out of wave dash, realign, and still lock them down with it. But again, I think forcing them to react to you without having to offer the threat of for example, Hell Seep is better for you in the long run because you don't have to risk your life anymore. And I think the gameplay the game plan of, will I try to stop them from sidestepping by using a homing move? Or will I use the Heatsmash for, trying to hit them doing anything? It will benefit you in the long run probably if you play the situation out, right? But let's look at the obvious elephant in the room. This will nerf Devil Jin in tournaments. Devil Jin already didn't have much success at EVO Japan, with Kudans being the best player at piloting Devil Jin in the world easily. He did not have much success against, the characters he went out against were Tekken Masters Eddie and Bats Hwarang, two characters that are very hyper aggressive. I think as long as Devil Jin is kind of forced to the defending position, the way he is now, because his offense just is very limited currently, and the character is just so much more effective on the defensive part, which is also why I think this character excels so much at long sets currently. As long as they don't fix that, this character will not be viable as much in tournament unless they nerf every other character down so much that he just becomes top 1 somehow. And even that is not a guarantee. I think nerfing his Heatsmash will not do him any favors in tournament. Might do you favors in long sets because of, Neo Mind games and stuff. However, the issue doesn't lie with the Heatsmash in itself. It lies in Devil Jin's design currently, which is why he's not finding much success in Versus 2. Doesn't mean the character isn't strong, because the character is strong, and I still believe that the character in long sets, especially because he's so built around reads and getting so much reward off reads, makes me believe that the character is still top 5. in long sets, but that doesn't matter because the only thing that matters in this game is tournament as usual. That's just how Tekken is. Again, what I think is the issue at hand is that Devil Jin, his design is just flawed for a game like this. So his Heatsmash getting nerfed doesn't matter much to me. It will matter for his tournament play and his presence, and I doubt people will be using him much in tournaments still. But yeah, that's my reaction to the Heatsmash nerf, basically. Does not do the character any favors in short sets, and he may have needed that, but whether he does it or doesn't, or like whether he does have it or doesn't, it won't change the fact that the character won't find much success in tournament. Same goes for Kazuya, basically. The only thing that annoys me is that there's a slight favoritism for both Reina and Jin, because those characters either didn't get touched at all or are just indirectly getting buffed because of the top tiers getting nerfed. In my opinion, both Reina and Jin are in the current top 5. Doesn't matter if first two or long set after the nerfs and, balance changes at the very least. So my verdict is, if you want to have success in a first two or like a tournament set with Mishimas, you're better off picking Reina or Jin. And that was already the case before Devil Jin's Heatsmash got nerfed. I know I'm talking around a lot right now, but people ask me for my opinion in general, so this is my opinion. Again, I think Devil Jin is a very strong character. It's just that his design is a bit flawed for first two. He can always win as long as you don't fail your mix-ups, but one can, guess right 2 or 3 times in a row and you can still lose. The same way you can hit like 5 health sweeps in a row on someone and just win the set off only winning health sweeps, only hitting health sweeps. And again, that's just a flaw in its design for short sets where consistency in this game matters more than ever. Like that's also why I think Feng is the best character in the game currently, because coverage and safety is just super given with the character. Anyway, moving on with the balancing. Down back 1+2 is now counter-hittable during its charge up, and in my opinion, it might matter here and there, like you're gonna lose 1 or 2 interactions a bit harder because of that, but usually the punishment on that move is so big if they guess right that they would just throw out launchers anyway, so it doesn't matter much if you can get counted or not, honestly. More often than not, this move is used on Oki, like down back 1+2 is best used on Oki, and like wake up kicks don't count at launch anymore. Back in Tekken 7, the move kind of sucked because wake up freeze would, if you mistimed it, you would get counted launched by a wake up free, or they would wake up and try to use a fast counter hitting mid or whatever. Now that wake up kicks don't give any counter effects anymore, I don't think this change matters much. Like you're just gonna eat 1 more damage of getting interrupted by a wake up free on Oki, and other than Oki, I don't see much reason for Domek 1+2 being used currently. So that change isn't as bad. The up 1+2 change, I straight up don't understand. I don't know what they mean with making that move easier to perform. And the back forward 2-1-2 hit with, like the third hit tracking better when a second hit connects, not only helps with some weird hit with situations, but also it will probably make the last hit of back forward 2-1-4 with less at the wall. You have definitely had this happen to you before. You tried to use back forward 2-1-4 as a wall ender, and the wall was slightly angled, so your last hit just whiffs, and you're so minus on whiff that you just get launched after the tech roll. So overall, that's a nice quality of life change that I did wish for. The Heatsmash nerf sucks, to put it in a nutshell, but in my opinion, again, it's just Devil Jin's design that is kind of flawed in this game. So long as this design is the way it is, I don't think we will see much in tournaments. And again, nerfing that Heatsmash doesn't help at all, but at the same time, I can understand completely that people wanted that Heatsmash nerfed, and like I can agree with that change. I can agree with the Heatsmash getting nerfed, just to give you a little bit of insight. However, I differentiate between 2 things. Do you want to make the character viable in tournaments, or do you just want to make him strong overall? Because I think now that the top tiers got nerfed, this character is back to being very strong overall. It's just that in tournaments, I don't think he's viable at all. If you want to make him viable in tournaments, you would have to reward all nerfs he got so far, like every single one of them, and just watch him become a top 1 character again, just for him to be able to perform more consistently in tournaments, because that's what Devil Jin kind of was. He was always like one of the strongest characters in the game, and that's how he performed in tournaments. If he's anywhere near being average or just being slightly higher than average, the character never really performed in tournaments. So like when it's about character strength, I think it's perfectly fine for the character to be the way he is now. I think currently the character is very strong, but not as tournament viable as other characters. Anyway, that's my take on Devil Jin currently. I'm not really upset at the nerfs or anything. I think his strengths lie in different things than his Heatsmash. But I just feel like the character is, now that the Heatsmash was nerfed, is probably the hardest character to pilot in the game. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I think Devil Jin is the hardest character in the game to pilot right now, next to the other obvious contender, Kazuya. If you have fun playing these characters, go ahead. But if you want to win, I would very much recommend you to switch to either Reina or Jin if you play Mishimas. That's my take on the Devil Jin changes. I will probably not go over any other balance changes. Momo out. I hope you got some insight off this video.